I said, come on, baby, turn around. I said, gotta get in. There's some air control. I want this one. Disappointed there's nothing in these tents. Cornhole. Cornhole. I'm gonna get some points before Mike hops on so I can gamba at least once. Time to gamba. I can gamba twice. Kind of want to get one of the things from the 6. So you know what that means. Time to go fishing. Large salmon. Three. Catch 2 more. Shiny small salmon. Small catfish. Just enough. Guess we'll go this one. Chocolate chip cookie. Man, you gotta score this by hand? What could be a fun hat or something like that? Looks like 300 is maybe the 10-gallon hat. I got 1,000 points for falling out of the world. There's a fire at the top of the mountain. I wonder if you can roast marshmallows. I just got 304 points for stuffing my fat face. $25 damn. Wee. Clunk. I am but a porky pig. Actually, I'm a frog. Two, one. Let's try not to fall. Let's go for a flip. Let's go for a double. No. Well, this thing's not very controllable on snow. It does pretty well in the air. Sub 40. That's pretty good. Go. There we go. Sub 50. Well, hello. You should have an invite. Yeah. Alright, I'll send you one after I'm done with this race. At first, I was just going to farm points until you logged on to gamble with. But then I found out that it looks like there's a 10-gallon hat at 300,000 points. I'm at 55,000, so. I think I started with like 2,100, and then I gambled some. I did 2 spins, so that's 10,000 points. I was at like 11 something, and then went down to like 1,700, and then I've been working my way up since then. Invite sent. I can see you running in the distance. I've got a respawn point at the top that I could just hop to. I don't know why I didn't. Well, apparently if you vibe code, that's how you lose a job, so. Oh, there was some, I saw it on Twitter, so who knows how factual it is. But there was a guy in an interview that doesn't do any like Claude stuff. He just vibe codes. And whoever he was interviewing with wanted to watch him code and realized that since he just vibe codes and they've moved their entire stuff into Claude, that vibe coding doesn't get you a job anymore. Which, at what point does that become, since all of these LLMs just learn from themselves, at what point are companies just going to be sharing like 99% of their code base because everything's Claude coded? That was the ultimate fat cat move, just a fat frog and a two-person inner tube sliding on by you. Or whatever we're supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a frog. Yeah, I understand, like the OPSEC side of it, of companies having like hand built versions of Claude that are air gapped. Yeah, right. Yeah, I understand the idea of like air gapped models, but it raises the question of companies that don't have proprietary data that would require a um, air gapped model. Oh wow, he took off. Um, are these companies that don't have sensitive data just all going to end up being the exact same company? That window that you have to hit must be super tight. Perfect landing. For who? Oh, yeah, they're getting ready to merge. They just saw how the Redfin Quicken merger went, and they're probably paring down as much as they can to be as lean as they can to go after a merger or acquisition. So, but that's one where like fintech is such a wild. I mean, Web3 has created another wild west of the internet. It's evolved into this whole LLM. They pivoted from the crypto side of it because NFT, like everybody discovered that it's just a scam, and pivoted into we're going to go all in on models. It wouldn't surprise, like, the .com bubble was massive. A lot of companies lost a lot of money. I think this next bubble is going to be 100 times bigger. Because these companies are just either spending with no remorse or they're just getting funding with zero business plan. Like, they literally just slap AI and here come all the, you know, hedge fund managers that think they're the smartest people in the world and fund them for billions of dollars. Or you have companies like, you know, Apple and Amazon and Google that are trillion-dollar companies before this, and now finally using that money. It does raise the interesting question of, should this fail, should this bubble burst, how do companies like Google or Apple or Meta kind of survive, right? Like, yes, they're trillion-dollar companies, but if their entire base has been switched to this, you know, what they're calling AI, and all of that fails. Which, granted, they would be big enough that they own all their own stuff. So even if the industry itself failed, they own all their own data centers, so it probably wouldn't be too big of a deal. And I guess the big thing, right, is the next, whoever's in office next, right? It's probably going to be a Democrat, just the way that the cycles go. As soon as they clamp down restrictions on all these things, you know, like where data centers can be and um, the resource drain and stuff like that, and then it's fiscally impossible to run these things. Is that how the bubble bursts? Why not? It wouldn't surprise me if the approach becomes, we were fine without it. Like, we didn't need this to exist. So it really doesn't matter if it goes away. Kind of being the stance. the way I see it is like these tech companies seem to be impervious to consequence for their actions, business actions specifically, for one reason or another, right? Like it's not always political. It's sometimes political, sometimes not. But we have yet to see anything really bad happen. Right? Like Google can get sued for $100 billion, but they're still Google. Like they're able to take it on the chin. Um, so maybe eliminating the data centers, or the provisions, or heavily restricting them, these companies would finally have consequence. And to be honest, consequence is a great thing for businesses. Like if they don't learn, they just put themselves so far out in front of their skis that it doesn't take much and then the whole thing's gone. I mean, I was surprised it was only Silicon Valley Bank that went under. What was that, 2 years ago? Hmm? Three? 3 years ago? I mean, the one saving grace in all of this seems to be that it's not a partisan issue. Like, both the left and the right aren't a huge fan of this. This being the rise of data centers taking over. That could be the one thing, right? Like, maybe we can finally get back to some bipartisan politics and actually get shit done. Without using the government as your personal lapdog to commit fraudulent activities. And then order the government to make sure you can never be prosecuted for them. I saw that yesterday about the whole DOJ IRS thing. And I wondered, nobody reporting on it yesterday seemed to clarify, is that something that the next administration could then repeal? I mean, if we've learned anything, nothing's permanent. It was ironic, though, that the day that they announced that was also the day that everybody that pre ordered the Trump phone found out their information was leaked. Which, seeing the videos from like CoffeeZilla and Moist Critical, there were about 10,000, I guess, pre orders of the T1 Trump phone. what percentage of them do you think are people that were only doing it to see if this would ever become a product? At least, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 60-40 people that are skeptics. Because, I mean, those are just two guys that I semi regularly follow and have acknowledged that they just did it to see if they'd ever get anything. Um, and you gotta imagine there's a lot of tech channels that did the same thing. But I do fear for the people that like were looking at that as being a legitimate thing, because it's like, I hate to say it, but they're probably not in the position where they could tank their information getting leaked and be fine with it because they could afford attorneys or something like that. I have a feeling the majority of them are people that could not. Right? They'd be using a public lawyer of some sort, public counsel. I re- I realize that coming in hot with a lot of like just downer shit, but you know, it's kind of tough. Like, let's be honest, right? I've been doing this for a long time. It's tough to like get shitty news before you go live and then just shut that out. Um, I'll just leave it at that. It's nothing to do with my immediate family, but some very good friends of ours. And yeah, it's just like, dude, I don't know. I will say, I found out you can roast marshmallows in this and make s'mores. Yeah, it's at the. You don't get an achievement for it, as far as I can tell. At least not just making a s'more. There might be an achievement for like setting the marshmallow on fire, which I just did. If you set the marshmallow on fire, you get you. You get 1 point to eat it, but you get you. Did you ever have that time period where when you had s'mores, you had to just burn the absolute shit out of the marshmallow? That's got to be a universal thing for Midwest boys, right? Like that is just a communal shared memory that anybody born in a Great Lakes state has of just like roasting the absolute shit out of a marshmallow. It is black as night. There's nothing left. It's just carbonization. And then you throw some chocolate and graham cracker. And... Oh, there's stuff to do it at the bottom too, so you don't have to go all the way to the top. I'm at 125,000 points. I'm about halfway to the 10-gallon hat. What's the Crown's 170. The Beer Olympics helmet is 160. I don't know what that is, but it kind of looks like Master Chief's helmet is 200. And then the 10-gallon hat is 300. I could buy the teacup. I could buy the rocket sled. 130 gets me the dog sled. 150 gets me a chair on a pallet. 350 is a shopping cart. Which the shopping cart's only one person. I feel like that should be a two-person. So over the weekend, I decided to bite the bullet and spend the $60 to get the Forza Horizon 6 Premium upgrade to play early. Because like I started to do the math, and I'm like, I'm gonna play this game for a while. So maybe I'll see like in a few months if it's on sale, I'll just buy the base game so then I don't have to worry about Game Pass with it. But it's like I'm gonna want to play the expansions, and that alone is $50 for the two expansions. So it's like for $10 more, you get access, early access. You get the kind of a season pass equivalent, which they call a car pass. It's good for it's like a year usually, um, a year of car drops, and then you get the VIP, which gets you some bonuses and things like that. So I started to do the math, and it's like it would be 70, $80 to get this stuff piecemeal. So I'll spend 60 just to get premium, the premium upgrade, and then maybe buy the base game on discount, and then I can finally get rid of Game Pass. I think I might be able to 100% a Forza game finally. Be- because they took out the most annoying achievements, which were like you had to 100% everything in the game. So you had to do everything in every sector and all that. Now you just need to 3-star the activities in one sector, and then you get that achievement. There's not one tied to um, all regions. So, and there's a lot of quality of life stuff that they did in this that makes the game a lot more convenient. I will say though, it's a lot of fun driving through Japan, and the game looks incredible. What's that? You kind of cut out. Uh, they've got, they call it Tokyo City, and that's pretty dense, and they have like multi-layer roadways. So there's like highways and different levels of highways, and then there's city street. Um, but I would still say 3/4 of the game is a little more rural, a little more open, which is very much like Japan, right? Like as soon as you get outside of the cities, it tapers off pretty quick. But I think tomorrow, I believe, is when the first playlist thing launches. So that is a week long thing. Um, so it's the 4 seasons, and then it's like, oh, do this. Um, there's usually like 10 to 12 um, activities that are tied to the season, and then there will be 2 or 3, sometimes 4 um, activities that carry over for the entire month, effectively. And so you have 2 progress bars. One of them is the season progress. One of them is like your overall progress for the month. Um, and so they'll put some pretty unique vehicles behind those progress points. And they did an awesome thing, which good on them, because Horizon 5 ended up being like a 4 or 5 year game when it was all said and done. Um, they implemented something in 6 now where you can actually go just buy some of these vehicles that would get locked behind progress bars that you can no longer complete. And they're just out in the world. Like you can just go find them. There's, I think they said there's like 22 or 25 set locations. And then the stock rotates however often. Um, so that's cool that they have that built into the game, so you're not um, you're not put at a detriment if you don't play the game, right? Like in the old games, um, some of those cars that would be part of the festival playlists would end up just like being OP in the online. So it's like, okay, somebody that wasn't able to spend the time to get that car is now at a detriment if they try to race online, because everybody else has got that car and that's the meta and you're never going to beat it. So they also apparently have, I haven't tried it out yet. They have, it's called like spec racing championships. So you're all driving the exact same vehicle. And there are a lot of people on Twitter that are saying like, this is where you humble your skill. Like, you think you're a good Forza player. Then when you have to race everybody in the same car, you find out that you're not a good Forza player. So, still need to try that out. Because I do run into issues as somebody that's more of a traditional sim racer. Um, I run into some issues in the Horizon games of expecting the physics to do one thing and they do something else. So, not the best at Forza Online, but I can usually finish top half. Ah, falling out. There we go. And around we go. Loop myself back up. Need 120,000. Nope. Let's go with physics there. All right. I'll do the other one. That'll get me into the 190s. I'm gonna be at 194 before I finish to get to 200. speed. I am speed. Ow. Alright, let's try to do that one legit this time. One, go! Oh, yeah. 206. So I could get Master Chief's helmet, or I think that's what that is. Sleds could I get? The chair and a pallet. Oh, is this? That's an Abe Lincoln hat. So I need, okay, so 320, 375, we'll call it, for our ultimate look. I was in my mind I was gonna do this on like the saucer or the crock, but I'm already going down. And I guess I have to go to the bottom anyway to change out the sled, so not necessarily the end of the world. Holy shit. Oh yeah, there's way more control on this. Ba-doom. Let's go look at the colors of tubes that I unlocked. Mike had to step away for the night, so I'll probably be calling it in the next 10 to 15 anyway, so. Not necessarily the end of the world. Alright. Yeah, red, green, maybe yellow, purple. Whatever that is. I guess we'll go with glow stick red for the double. Now I got my toolbox and my cookie in front of me. I still would like to know what the purple thing is. We'll check out the purple thing and then we'll call it for the night. So it'd be like approximately. I think it's this one. Looks like. I guess the purple thing on the map is just like a straightaway to a jump. I do like how soothing the soundtrack is on this. Quick check the tents here, and then we're gonna jump over the shack. Okay. Got a concrete bench. That'll focus is pushing me up the hill. All right. Almost made it to 250, so we'll get the 10-gallon hat next week. But yeah, we'll see everyone next week. But hopefully